Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh.
You are live and asking, man, brother.
Alaikum.
What's your question for us today, inshallah?
Yes, Sheikh. Regarding the permissibility of mortgages, it's within UK society. It's I believe, with my limited understanding, that it's haram, and but with the Muslims in the UK, what do we do? Because we can't go against Allah's ruling, but unfortunately, I see most of the societies within our community, most of the people within our community are on riba. So I'm just wondering, what is the general permissibility? What do the scholars say? And is it truly permissible? And if it's not permissible, then what do the Muslims do then in order to get onto the property ladder within the UK?
Khair. Barakallahu feek. I mean, this is a question that none of us as Muslim will ever get tired of asking. Now, there's no black and white on this, Shaykhana, because it seemed to be an issue.
No.
That no matter where you go, people always have an opinion whether yes is permissible or no is not permissible. No. Some sheikh said this, some sheikh said that. What is the general ruling on this?
Sure. Okay, I understand. So, with regards to taking out a mortgage loan here in the UK, there are different ways of doing that. With if you look at the general high street bank, which has a clear riba interest agreement with that. And riba, we know as Muslims, is haram. It's not allowed for us to do that. Now, there are... you also have to give context to the situation. What is the fascination? More than that, it's not really fair to say fascination. What is the importance of owning your own home, your own property? In many Muslim lands, the issue of renting is not something which is that common. Many people own their homes. The status quo is that people own their homes.
No.
You don't rent something.
Sure.
You go out and you work a little while and then you own your own home.
Yeah.
So then when you come to a country where not necessarily everybody owns their own home, renting is a big part of the market, that Muslims will, they will grow up in a society, they may be born here. It's not necessarily,
sure.
Back home this is what we do. I mean, you may be born and bred here, no problem. But owning your own home is a very important part of what you see as your future. First and foremost, I cannot make halal what Allah Azza wa Jalla made haram. Riba is haram. Are there certain circumstances where the haram can become halal? And a common example is given that if you're in the middle of a desert, okay, and that you have no food and you have no drink, okay, and you come across some pork, if you can find pork in the middle of the desert, by the way, or something like that. Okay, you don't suddenly see pigs running out in the middle of the desert. But let's give that example, right?
Right.
You're in the middle of nowhere, not necessarily the desert, you're in the middle of nowhere. There's no food and drink that's halal for you. You can consume what is sufficient to keep yourself alive. Okay? الضروريات تبيح المحظورات, which is a well-known principle, that the necessity or the dire necessity of the situation can make permissible that what is made haram.
Right.
And there's another principle connected to that المحظورات تقدر بقدرها, that what is made haram is adjusted to only what is needed.
Sure.
Doesn't mean you can just have a big munch on it and just fill your stomach and
Right.
No, you do what is necessary. So there are certain exceptions where there may be some changings in the rulings.
Right.
Now, taking out a ribawi mortgage, is the situation dire enough that we make an exception to permit riba because of the situation? There are absolutely no other options. I'm of the view, and many of the ulama have to say no. There are other options. Yes, it may be not the ideal situation, but there are options where you can rent.
Right.
There's no riba involved in that. And alhamdulillah, as far as I know, there are some movements now within the Muslim community to set up halal kind of programs or situations where the loans can be given in a shari'i and an Islamic correct manner.
Sure.
Okay. So what I would say is that if a person is looking to do something like that, is to do some more research and to go to trusted ulama. Okay. And fatwa, like, you can take it out for your own home.
Right.
Okay. If it's your first home and it's yours, you can do it. But for another one after that, you can't.
Yeah.
I don't personally agree with that fatwa.
Yeah, I've heard
okay.
that one as well.
And Allah knows best. And I can't take the responsibility on Yawm al-Qiyamah to say that in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I allowed people to take a riba.
Right.
I can't take the responsibility. And I'm of the view of the ulama, because I'm not mujtahid in this issue. I have to follow the great, well-known and grounded ulama in this issue, and I'm of the view, and I follow them, to say that it is not allowed for you to take that out. But there are some, there's some future where the Muslims are making the situation, inshallah, easier, and where Muslims can come together. But anything to do with riba, I say, is not permissible.
I agree.
I apologize for the brevity of my answer, but answering something like this is very wide, and it needs explaining in detail. But Allah knows best.
طيب خير إن شاء الله. بارك الله فيك شيخنا.